Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be sharing how I drew this emerging Agapanthus drawn in coloured pencil. So this piece is drawn using Faber-Castell Polychromos and Caran d'Ache Luminance colour pencils, and it's drawn on Rising Museum board, which is one of my favourite surfaces to draw on. The size of this drawing is 10 by 12 inches, not too large, not too small. I felt as though it's just the right size to be able to capture lots of tiny details and the intricate shapes in the buds without feeling too crammed in a small size, which you can quite easily do when drawing a flower. So sometimes it's nice to work a little larger than life size so you've got a little bit more space. I was really drawn to the reference photo for this drawing. It's an emerging Agapanthus rather than a fully bloomed one, and I just really love that. With the buds being really tightly packed, they are ready to pop, and a few of them are already stretching out, and I just love that about this composition. Also the colours as well. I know most Agapanthus are purple, but this one was a gorgeous blue, and I felt it worked really beautifully with the seed pod colours. The photo is by Alberto Olimpio on Pexels. You can find that over there if you wish, and I just thought it was begging to be drawn, so here it is. So as you can see, I started with the seed capsule, and I started by blocking in the key colours. There are some really beautiful colours in this part of the drawing. We've got some really beautiful orange tones at the top, so I used some golden ochre colours and some rich oranges. And then towards the bottom where we move into green tones, I started by applying my Caran d'Ache Luminance Middle Verdigris, which is one of my absolute favourite colours, especially within the green tones. I really love that muted minty sort of green, and it's perfect for where light is catching green tones. It just brings the green out in a really subtle sort of way. So I blocked that in on the left hand side there, and then I started to apply all the individual creases and textures, just blocking in the structure and the shape to begin with. Without worrying about colour, I just wanted to make sure that I'd got the actual spherical shape in there first. And then after blocking in the really deep shadow at the bottom, I started to layer some of my other greens. So I used moss green, which is a luminance pencil, as well as some olive yellow to start to richen up the green and add a little vibrancy. Just lots of light layers over the top. And then here I'm starting to introduce some more golden tones. Again, just very lightly blending those into the greens. So we've got a nice soft transition between the golden tones and the greens. And I think the deep shadow at the bottom of this pod plays a really big role in the depth of the overall piece. So I wanted to make sure that the shadow at the bottom was nice and dark. So I'm not just using my moss green here, but also the chrome oxide green, which is a Polychromos pencil. That is also one of my favourite dark greens, and I think that just made the green a little richer. And then moving on to the stalk, and again I wanted the shadow at the top of the stalk to be nice and deep, just for the extra emphasis of depth in this piece. I went in with some Payne's grey and chrome oxide green for the deepest parts of the green, and then mainly used juniper green, which is a slightly cool tone of green, for the lighter parts of the stem. And I just layered lightly to build up the transition between the shadow and the light. So moving on to the buds, and I decided to start with the stalks first. So I built these up very similar to the bottom of the seed pod by blocking in some Payne's grey and moss green for the shadows. and I added touches of middle verdigris, which is the minty green tone I mentioned earlier. And then I finished off with a sharp chromium green opaque polychromos pencil, which I used almost as a polishing pencil. I kept my pencil really sharp so I can get into all the grooves of the paper, and I used this to smooth out the pencil texture so the strokes are really nice and smooth. And then of course I finished off with the chrome oxide green just to give those shadows extra depth. So when it came to working on the buds, I decided to work on a few at a time rather than individually, just so that I can get a feel for the colours and the patterning of each bud. I started by blocking out the darkest shapes first with my Payne's Grey Polychromos pencil, just a really light touch and a super sharp point as well. I made sure that my touch was really light, especially around the edges, and I used quite a few soft small circles so that I could get a softer transition. So after blocking in the darks, I went to block in the lights. There are some really beautiful ivory tones at the bottom of these buds, so I just used my Warm Grey 1 Polychromos pencil just to block those in, and then I started to work on the midtones. And this is where we get to see those beautiful blue tones coming through. So one of the main colours I used was the Ultramarine Polychromos pencil, and I started by blocking out the most vibrant blue tones. So again, I kept my pencil really sharp and also really light as well, often applying lots of small gentle circles. I find that applying small soft circles helps with softer transitions where there is a very gradual subtle change between two colours. So it's a really nice soft way of blending without having to use any solvent or other blending tools. So in general, I'm keeping my pressure really soft, just increasing the pressure a little bit in those really deep saturated blue tones such as at the base. And then I start to introduce some light cobalt blue for the really light blue tones. And then I'm starting to warm those ivory bases up with a little bit of a warmer tone. I'm not afraid to use a little bit of pressure here to really saturate those tones. And then here I'm starting to move on to some earthy tones as well. It's important to add in those earthy muted tones as well as the brightest colours, just to keep things looking a little bit more natural. So then I move on to working on more of my values, not just darkening my shadows but also richening up and saturating the brightest tones as well. So I introduce even more of the ultramarine and start to introduce some dark indigo as well for those really dark, rich blue tones. And then I move on to the next bunch of buds and repeat the same process. I make sure I include a few more earthy tones in this lower section, just because the buds are closer to the seed pod, so they're a little bit more shadowed. And also the areas between the individual pods and the stems are also really deep in shadow, so I made sure to apply lots of dark values in there. I made sure I kept a nice sharp point throughout this drawing, as there are lots of really sharp and crisp edges to the buds, as well as some tight little shadows between them. And here you can see I'm using my black pencil, which I try not to use too often. I generally reserve that just for those really, really deep shadows, just for a little extra punch. And then the remaining outer isolated buds followed a pretty similar pattern to what I've already drawn. They were just a little bit bigger, and also they included a little bit more of the vibrant tones because they are more in light than the other buds. So I made sure to apply a little bit more ultramarine blue here. And because these buds are more in light, I wanted to make sure that the lighter side, where the light source is hitting, is really nice and light. And At the same time, make sure that the opposite side was equally as dark, just so that I can capture that depth. So towards the end, I also added a little bit of a white pencil. The White Museum Aquarelle pencil is a really soft and buttery pencil, so it not just helps to lighten the light tones, but it also helps to soften some of the pencil texture. So apart from the finishing touches and tweaking and refining, this drawing is just about complete. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing this emerging Agapanthus emerging on the paper. And if you would like to follow along to the full class, the full real-time tutorial is available on my Patreon membership channel. The link is in the description. I hope you've enjoyed this short overview and found something useful. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.